so who knows? Okay, here we go. Good afternoon, folks, and welcome to Smudcast number 801. Johan Liebert was never evil in Monster. This is number 801. We are saving the 800 number for something special in the coming few days, and it's going to take a while to figure out because we got people involved and they got different schedules, and we're going to be breaking it apart. So do apologize for was it a week and a half or 2 weeks hiatus since we did this? So here we are today. And by the title, if you guys have ever watched or read the Monster anime or manga, already your brain is going, wait a second. The whole point of Monster was Johan, who was a literal monster, who was evil. And if he wasn't evil, then Tenma wouldn't have done what he did. And the first episode would have meant nothing, and as would the entire series. So I'm a bit confused, to put it lightly. So we're going to see how this person, Mr. Avent, YouTuber Avent, is going to justify the entire story of Monster to say the villain wasn't villainous, the antagonist wasn't evil, when anyone who has seen almost any episode or read any manga of Monster knows that Johan is, in fact, yes, very evil.
Yeah, I guess he's trying to come from the perspective that like he was born into this madness, so he couldn't like make a difference between evil and good. But I feel like this is the kind of argument that people would defend Griffith from Berserk would approach it with.
It feels like Griffith did nothing wrong sort of argument. Yeah, it's that sort of level of if you're coming at me with that title, oh my God, you better have some crazy logic, like psychology I've never heard about, like some sort of mental problems, like savant children who get bad ethics and it's not their fault. It was causation. Everything happened as a result of education and da-da-da-da. It better be because there's so many instances of him completely manipulating people into either killing themselves or killing other people or driving them to insanity. And that's why this story is so fascinating, because it's this purely evil guy who manipulates people and doesn't do a lot of the dirty work himself. He sort of gets everyone influenced to be unethical, let's just say. And it's 30 minutes long, so I'm probably going to cut it very short if I start hearing logical fallacies or really bad arguments. So we don't know. We're going to find out. Anyway, we got a little message from Mr. Vladimir Dragunov. Thank you, sir. Do you think the Secret Service yelled Donald Duck?
That was good. That was good.
I'm going to say in the entirety of the Secret Service, yes, they did. Someone from the Secret Service has yelled Donald Duck. Yes. Anyway, we are at 0 seconds of 30 minutes. Here we go.
終わりってなんだろう。終わり、終わり、終わり、終わり、終わり、終わり、終わりってなんだろう。
In Monster, we know Johan Liebert, the antagonist in the series Monster, which can manipulate and has crazy charisma that allows him to go along with his plans. How he managed to throw an entire institution into...
Wait. Let me just backtrack that grammar. I'm not trying to be a stickler here, but my brain just went, what? Who did what to who now?
Monster, we know Johan Liebert, the antagonist in the series Monster, which can manipulate and has crazy charisma that...
He has crazy charisma.
Which can manipulate?
Which can.
Allows him to go along...
That allows him to go along... He's saying Johan has crazy charisma that allows him to go along with his plans. Yes, I also have crazy charisma that allows me to go on with the plans I create for myself. That is, I have to be charismatic with myself.
Well, I guess in Australian English, this is grammatically correct.
Yeah, guys, if you have to influence yourself to do stuff, like, I don't know, go to the bathroom, I guess you need charisma of some kind to convince yourself to do so.
I had charisma enough this morning to flush the toilet.
Yeah, I had a charisma score of 0, and I went.
Not enough to wipe my.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I gotta go to the toilet, but that's as far as I'm going.
It's like the Fallout 1 comeback. Oh, I critically missed. I got hurt by 1 point.
Oh, we're 34 seconds in already.
This is great.
Yeah, I couldn't get the grammar working correctly in the. I hope it's this person's second language. I hope.
You know what I was thinking? Like, maybe use AI.
Yeah.
Maybe this isn't even his real voice.
Maybe it's a really poorly written script, and then this is an AI generated voice. And he went, wait a second, I could do both. I could get the script written by AI. Actually, no, AI would have written a better grammar. So no, he wrote the script, gave it to AI, and the AI ran with it. Oh God. Anyway, here's again Vladimir Dragunov. Thank you for the 5. Also, for legal reasons, this is a joke, but I wouldn't have missed. Okay. I've heard so many stories, even today, of people who wished the shooter hadn't missed, and I just keep my mouth shut because.
Okay, Destiny.
I just it's one of those things where if you're a good person, you're a good Catholic, you're just a good ethical person, you generally, unless you're a child, you generally do not wish death upon people who you dislike. So, but family, alcohol, these things happen. What can you do? Anyway.
Managed to tie institution into chaos through pure words alone. Let's see how his plans fell into line and how it all lines up. For people that don't understand, maybe after watching/reading Monster, this is for you. Before we exactly go into the crimes, we have to discuss the start of what Johan was before he became the monster and see what he did. Also understanding why the author, specifically in Another Monster, talks about Johan's biggest weakness being Anna. The people wanting Johan to be the top of the world also call Anna bait for Johan, and his weakness. Why does Anna forgive Johan? Why does Johan never kill Anna if he was supposed to have it as one of his goals?
Okay, it doesn't really matter in some cases how much a family member does. It's because they're family and you love them. It does not matter. You love them. You're going to forgive them. You want to help them, especially when they do something wrong. That's just family. That's how it goes. So it's not a big mystery. And Anna is a young girl very much in the same plot of Tenma, wanting to stop her brother. And it's no surprise that she actually ends up having feelings for Tenma in some crazy adrenaline-filled romance near the end of having lived through this entire ordeal. And she is the basic value of the female. She wants to care. She loves. So I'm not surprised that she forgave her brother, even though she wanted to kill her brother, but she hesitated because she realized, oh, this is my brother. So
yeah.
Why didn't he kill Tenma, for example? And Another Monster also pointing out his biggest weakness being Anna, which Roberta wanted to get rid of for Johan to be, the top guy. So it really calls into question the perspective of what Johan is to people and how it actually is. Of course, you can actually take into any of this with a grain of salt and come to your own conclusions. However, I will provide counters to anything that may come up to keep supporting any points I made too, but still question it. Johan Liebert was born in a bad situation from a eugenics experiment. After the twins ran away together, the father ended up splitting from her and disappeared. She is put into a hospital to give birth to her children, Johan and Anna. Eventually, Johan's mother runs away to the 3 frogs. At this point, Johan and Anna would be so scared of the world and always feel oppressed, so you can see why Johan does what he does very soon. Bonaparte and Peter Chapek.
Okay, but we're skipping over the fact that the argument is Johan evil from birth, or was he taught that way? And there is a lot of evidence showcasing that, yeah, he was built to be this creature, but there's also the nature argument of, well, he was always a little twisted. And that just allowed those thoughts and feelings and motives to come about as he was said, you are going to be the next Hitler. You are going to be this amazing, charismatic guy. So it's a bit of both. That's what we get from monsters. So it's not just it's not just the nurture argument, because there's even Anna knew as a child how evil her brother was. So
Yeah, look, I think I remember the twist was that he never really participated in those like secret meetings where they brainwashed the child. Like it was only the girl who was participating in this. Like the girl only just like told Johan like what was happening there.
yeah, the whole kindergarten program they were a part of, everyone was like, oh, our training isn't useful for this kid. He's already above and beyond what we expected to make.
Yeah.
He's sitting on the top of this, like the ideal picture was he was sitting on top of this pile of corpses, like, oh, okay, we'll go with that. So yeah, it was this crazy Nazi program to create the next Hitler, essentially. And they didn't have to make him. He was right there.
Johan and Anna. The mother has to choose someone, ending up with Anna being thrown into the Red Rose Mansion. After returning with endless torture and trauma, she returned to the Three Frogs. After Johan hears her story and lets Anna get her pain out, he finally decides to make a plan. This plan involves running away. With their mother gone and not found, Johan has to take action. Otherwise the people who hurt them will return, aka the monster. The Three Frogs catch on fire. Assuming Johan did this, or maybe both of them. Either way, they set it on fire and run away. Count that as a crime if you want in his life. Eventually they meet two old people, a couple. At this point, Johan and Anna should be fine. But when the couple suggests turning these orphans into the police, Johan has no other choice but to kill the couple. This also is the first kill Johan has ever done. This is strategic and methodical, and I'll tell you why.
Okay, so he admits that this kid just killed two nice elderly people, or else they'd be found out by the authorities and they'd figure out where they're from and da-da-da-da. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, do you think? Because if
it was strategic, you said.
It was yeah. The title says Johan Liebert was never evil in Monster when he's killing people because they know, because they just found these two kids and they're going to talk to the police about it. Like that's their crime.
Like setting fire in an empty apartment is like questionable, since they were under supervision and they had to get a distraction so they could run away from the government. But this is already crossing the line.
Yeah, this is outright murder. And I was just reading it was called Jujika no Rokunin, which is this, it's still going on manga, which has rape and murder and revenge plots. And this guy wants to kill his bullies, essentially. You know, he does. Except the last one, it's this 5-year-long story. But there's a point where he actually kills the guy, the detective investigating him. And that's when he goes, oh my God, I just killed an innocent man. And at that point, you're like, okay, this guy is no longer, has a reason outside of revenge. It's now, oh, I got to cover my tracks. I got to kill anyone else who knows this. And that's when the story goes, oh, now he's not just doing it for revenge. He's doing it for his own sake, for revenge. And he's no longer the good guy. He's no longer the guy we want to win. He's the guy with moral questionable authority in the story. Not to say that revenge is a ethically good thing to do, but within the context of a revenge plot, that's the story. That's the whole point. So as soon as you throw in the killing of innocents, yeah, you've gone down the wrong path. And yes, it makes logical sense within the realm of the story, but you would never call these characters good ever again. So if he's admitting to this, we could end the video right now and write a little comment, say, sir, at 0.2 minutes and 40 seconds, you said he killed two innocent people. Therefore, he was in fact doing an evil deed. Anyway. Yeah. I not to say I want to get out of this video. I'm just like, because I love the topic, but it's so like cut and dry. Anyway.
Been running away for a long time, you naturally just want to relax. These are just kids after all. Twins who have a tight bond. They love each other. But it's impossible to relax and be kids when the monster, Bonaparte, goes after them. Run away, so they never have to experience pain again. Johan would never get any satisfaction from killing. He simply has to act like everything is fine after killing them because he never wants Anna to experience what he sees. After already being through a bit of trauma, Johan wants to make sure she never remembers and simply blocks it out. Johan eats the monster from Anna and takes it away with him. But not in a wrong way like that book where he eats her and, kills her or whatever.
Okay, this is we're going in this. You cannot just psychologically help a girl by erasing her memories when you're 5 or whatever however old this kid is.
5 or 6, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I could just erase my sister's memories and absorb them into, like, what he just said makes no sense. So it's there's a bit more to the story here. And you read a book and blah, blah, blah. You're like, yeah, I don't think he's suddenly like a hypnotist who can erase people's memories and absorb negative ones and become, like, it doesn't make any, like, why would you absorb it? Like, just erase her memory if you have that skill and call it a day. Not like the fairy tale of eating all the monsters of someone's dreams or whatever. So there's a little bit of symbolism going on here, and he's not doing a very good job explaining what the hell's happening.
Metaphorically to the book, Johan has to commit his first kill out of logic. If these people tell the...
Why? What logic? Give me the logic. And if it's logical, that doesn't make it good or bad. It could be good. I could logically want to kill someone who's about to kill other people. That would make me a hero in certain views. But if I'm killing a bunch of innocents, what view, what perspective do you need to make that be a good thing? How would that work? What culture, what laws, which time world, which part of the world where killing innocents would be a good thing? I can't.
The Wild West.
Yeah.
Crossing the border during the
ancient Sumeria, where the innocents were
during the Cold War, it can be just as bad as the Wild West was.
Yeah, applying logic does not make things good or bad. That's not an excuse to morals. Anyway,
the police, Bonaparte will likely find them easily. They most likely were adopted by some other people or lived under them until Johan realizes he had to keep running. They kept moving until they eventually end up running to the Czech border, trying as hard as they could to keep moving. As they collapse, General Wolf finds them, and this also leads to Johan going to 501 Kinderheim and Anna to another orphanage. One where Anna will be able to heal, and Johan unfortunately will go into more of his nihilism, as the facility he will go to will be to make the perfect soldiers. However, Johan was already a monster, somebody who had charisma to match Liebert.
All right. So before he gets to kindergarten, he rightfully says Johan was already a monster, and you could base that off the nature argument, or based off what he just said, he just killed 2 people. So either way, he's still evil.
Very much.
He can manipulate anyone to do anything due to his understanding of how humans work, which will be brought back later onto how he precisely understands humans. And all this facility did was enhance everything surrounding the monster with Johan. This facility also messed with Johan's memories, so he had some messing around with his brain and how he was kept asleep. Somehow Johan never wants to forget his sister and his own plans and etc. And there's also a videotape about him saying he didn't want to forget Anna, he had a will to never forget her, and he clearly cares for her in his own way. Under sleeping pills, as another monster mentions, Johan hated everything about the facility, most likely because of how Johan already had an idea of adult figures, his mother and the experimenters. You would see why he'd think of this as trash. While at 501 Kinderheim, he recruits fellow kids, and as he always has said, he has a plan. Using the inherent hatred of everyone around him, he managed to cause an uprising and have many killed by just pure words alone. Hatred gathers when people gather together. All I did was pour a little oil on it. And he did, making everything end in chaos. Johan must have also felt mad about how they messed with him and the other children. Of course, both children and adults killed each other. Still, Johan must have seen the outcome of these experiments being pretty horrible, with him only recruiting Christoph Sinovich. The other people such as Grimmer and Robert...
Okay, so he's a manipulative psychopath, but he's not evil? Yeah, he's getting other people to kill other... Like this is some Lord of the Flies scenario. You're like, okay, this is not his fault? Like, what's happening here? Like, everything he's shown us so far has been horrific. But he was never an evil guy. I don't...
he was already a monster, but he isn't really evil because there's reason behind it.
I don't know. I'm it's like
he got baptized in the mill, so all his sins from the past were
yeah.
forgiven.
Is this like a weird like word association? Like, it's not a pizza, it's a panzerotti. It's like, well, it's still a folded pizza, but it's a panzerotti. It's like, is it, like okay, potato, I guess. I don't know.
Left before the massacre, at least, or something like that. Johan will eventually unite with Christoph very soon, however. Being adopted by the Lieberts along with Anna, they are under another family. This is where we officially would start Monster. Johan's goal is to protect Anna from all the blood he is spilling, and also because of the monster ever finding them. Every kill has been made methodically and strategically so they can live and leave, so the monster never catches up. The twins are fine for a while, until someone comes to visit, and Bonaparte finds them. Going into the...
Is Bonaparte in this story, he's telling the monster? Or is he talking about...
I think at one scene he called him the real monster.
Yeah, because it sounds as if it could be the urge to kill in Johan's psyche is the monster, and because he ate the monster originally in that symbolism of taking it away from Anna. So I don't know. It could be both.
Strange.
Unless the title was Johan Liebert was never the evil monster in Monster, because then you'd be pointing to Bonaparte or someone else. And you're like, that's interesting.
To check up on them, Johan pretends to sleep just like with Tenma while Bonaparte is talking. He actually never sees his face, but he does hear him. Johan panics. The monster has come, and the monster has come to take them away. He ends up making a mistake and kills the Lieberts and realizes there is no redemption for him.
Okay.
It realizes there's no redemption for him.
So Johan has killed 2 elderly people. Then he went to that kindergarten place and killed a whole bunch of other kids. All right.
And adults.
And yeah, there's a bunch of other people that died too. Then he gets adopted somehow magically winds up with Anna again. Realizes he's going to be picked up by another bad guy. So he kills 2 of his adoptive... These 2 parents who arguably care about... they want to have a family, so they adopt 2 children. Where is this? How is this good or neutral? Like this, everything he's been telling us is like evil.
This is the perfect frame as well, and he realizes there is no redemption for him.
Yeah.
So that means that he is evil.
Johan's admitting, I'm the bad guy of the story. Hello,
I am the
villain.
Antagonist.
Antagonist, the bad guy, evil person, does bad thing.
Anna should shoot him now. All he has ever done to her was protect her. But now, after Anna sees him differently, he comes to the realization that he is a more significant threat. And if she runs, she will have a better chance of living a normal life. Johan gets shot after telling Anna how to keep everything clean, so no one would ever know it was her that shot him.
全部お兄ちゃんがやったの？今日は特別さ。お兄ちゃんがやったの？だって今日は怪物がやってきた。
What was that?
Oh, come on.
What was that? What the fuck?
It's a VPN ad.
Oh, are you? Oh, come on.
No.
Come on.
Play it. Let's see.
This has almost 84,000 views, and now he's doing an ad.
The reason Johan was hard to find was his foresight
it's
and using
not.
reliable VPN. A reliable
It
VPN
is.
service that can guarantee the security
No.
of your
What the flying shit is happening? Is he doing a lore sales pitch? The reason Batman can't be found is he uses NordVPN. Like, what? What are you talking about?
The
Click.
reason why Johan can get away with murder and not being evil is because he was using VPN.
You realize VPN is not that great a security. Like all it does is change your IP. You can trace back to where it came from. It's not hard. Anyway,
You can go to Antarctica and then you can commit murders because no one will put you in jail when you commit murders in
Oh, yeah?
Antarctica. Yeah.
I'm going to connect to an Arctic server that comes back to me. So the networking forensic guy who does a backtrace goes, oh wow, he went to Antarctica. Oh wait, no, that's just the VPN. Let me see the next hop. Oh, it's where he was normally. It's not.
You're revealing too much.
It's VPN is like, as soon as I saw VPN, like, that's not all you can do is slow down your internet connection, and it's only for the legal reasons of an ISP to know you're not using torrents. That's it. That's all VPNs are for, unless you want to mask your original second hop so that something stupid like Netflix knows you're not in a certain country and they don't do a backtrace. That's all it's good for. So if you want to spend money on a VPN, go for it. But you're not getting any added security outside of someone who doesn't know networking to do a basic stack trace. It's so silly. Anyway, whatever. He's trying to make, for 84,000 views, I guess he's making money off this. Anyway.
It's insane.
and access to geo-restricted content. Sounds pretty insane, right? Well, it's real, and this VPN service is Atlas VPN. With their advanced VPN technology, you can rest easy knowing that your data is protected from the
Still
prying
going
eyes of
on.
hackers and
Jesus.
cyber criminals. But that's not all. Are you tired of being deprived of certain content due to your location, like I said before? With Atlas VPN, you can effortlessly switch to a different country and unlock a world of entertainment and knowledge. Say goodbye to those frustrating not available in your country messages and hello to a new world of possibilities. And the best part, Atlas VPN is available on all devices, so you can enjoy seamless browsing no matter where you are, instantly. Now here's the cherry on top. Atlas VPN is offering an unbeatable deal
Still
that you simply
going
cannot
on.
miss out on. For only
Don't skip
$1.83 per month, you can enjoy a free subscription to their stellar service along with free month unparalleled free with Johan, and Johan repays this kindness from Tenma with killing his free superiors. Unlike people think, Johan is a bit weird with how he expresses himself. After being a monster and doing all of these unethical things and being a kid, he heard Tenma wish death on them and he repaid it simply. He tells Tenma the same thing when he meets him again years later grown up, and this is the only time where Johan kills out of order for his mission, as he usually killed for Anna and he's now killed for Tenma. This is the only time, really. If you want to have the interpretation Johan was some chaotic evil that killed to kill, then look at all the people he killed and look at the connection, and we can all discuss this later.
He was a chaotic evil that killed.
I don't know what he's trying to say. He just described the deaths of the two elderly people, the two adopted parents, the kids and the adults in the kindergarten, and then the doctors and the superior. Like, he killed to kill. Doesn't that make him evil? Like, if he just killed to kill, that's...
No, like, you see Smud, like, he was killing for Anna first, and then for Tenma. So, this is totally justifies it. This is self-defense.
Yeah, I gotta protect my sister from a bad life by killing the people trying to give her a good life. That's, interesting.
Once again, after he does all that, and the monster may come because the news, they talked about the twins, and that's where Bonaparte would come again because they were on the news before him with the Lieberts. Johan now sent into his nihilism after his sister passes out seeing him, and this is why Johan cries. You can also consider the photo a trigger for Johan killing them if you want to, even though it was for Tenma. You could think of it as another way the monster could find them if they took a picture. However, you can interpret it as you want. Once they run away...
Why doesn't Johan kill the Bonaparte coming after? Like, that would be a little more logical, wouldn't you think? Because that's the bad guy, he thinks, and he wants to protect Anna from him? No? He can only run away from him? He can't kill him? Like, what is... Anyway.
Called Reinhard Dinger, saving him from arrest. He decides to thank Johan by giving him and his sister a home for a bit. While they watch the news while eating dinner, Dinger mutters that the world is terrible and that all scum should die. Johan agrees with his statement and says, "We don't need those people." This comment sparks Dinger's career as a murderer. He already aligns his pieces perfectly throughout his childhood. Johan leaves Anna in the care of the Fortners. After travelling to Heidelberg, now Johan starts to get his hands dirty, going to different families during his time. And during his time in these families, he meets a blind old man and learns all he can from him, and goes to school at one point too. However, almost like everything except for the old man, this is all erased. This is because the old man was trustworthy because he didn't know his name nor his face. He isn't aware of Johan's face nor actual name, so even though Johan is trying to erase everything that involves his existence and the pain of his sister, which once again we'll get into. At age 15, living with his new family, he starts diving into the crime world by starting a money laundering business in the Underworld. Based on what we learn, he monopolized all undergrounds, taking dirty money from different syndicates and cleaning it until it was fully legit. Crazy enough, this is almost like a legit bank for the Underworld, leading money and making transactions. From age 15 to 20 years old, or 5 years into the business, it made tons of money, and from what we hear, it was millions. And at some point too, Johan stays with Carl Newman's mother, most likely due to the information we hear, so who knows, but assuming that he did, then he would have learned some information about Shoe Vault maybe, and that's where...
Okay, so we forget the murder. Now he's committing all these forms of larceny and money laundering. You could say that's good or bad depending on which side of the aisle you are and whether that's your form of making money, but usually the crimes or the laws of a just society that this story takes place in would see that as bad. So if you didn't buy the murder thing, the mass murder thing, the manipulation thing, now he's a criminal in money laundering.
You see, like Walter White from Breaking Bad was never really a criminal, like evil at all.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was all doing this for the family. And that's what's so powerful about it.
It's all about family and hot rods, yeah.
But he also was based in the economical world already, so who knows. Around this time, Johan hires serial killers in Germany to kill off Johan's previous parents, wiping out his existence. Anyone who has seen Johan needs to die, and this is why Roberto says to Eva Heinemann that if you've seen Johan, then you need to die. After a while, Johan gets bored or something, and leaves and lets the entire business fall. And the people that had money or wanted it end up killing each other later in the year. The question here is, why does Johan make this money laundering business? And exactly what's the point?
Because he's evil and he wants people to die. As he said, I want to stand on the top of all the corpses at the end of the world. He does not want everyone to be happy. He does not want everyone to prosper. He wants everyone to die. Did he miss that part? Like that? It's said to us several times throughout the story. He's a psychopath. He's a literal psychopath mass murderer. Okay. But he's not evil.
The point is one obvious one, being money leads to power, and not power in just how much money you can spend on horrific deeds hiring killers or whatnot, but it buys you connections that you get from the power. Johan of course needed money to be independent enough to move and probably buy stuff that involves his plans, but he needed to meet the top people. Having this power allows him to find different organizations like the Baby and the people like Chapek too, radicals, etc. He's able to meet these people, and a way to get rid of them all eventually, being connected to people that was involved with the Red Rose Mansion, even though he destroyed it later on. This was the point, and this all aligns to his plans, such as placing people like Christoph in the apprentice role and politician. And those serial killers such as Adolf Junkers and two others end up being hunted down by Johan Liebert. He betrays them, and Adolf Junkers gets warned by his group that they had been hired by a monster, getting hit by a car but being rescued by Dr. Tenma. Eventually he is called by Johan, and Johan makes him paranoid, and he ends up with him. After many years, Dr. Kenzo Tenma meets Johan again. Johan kills Junkers and then tells Tenma not to get involved, and he shouldn't know what happened to the Lieberts nor him. I initially thought that Johan framed Tenma, but no, it was generally more of an indirect frame due to Ava and other people being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Because Johan himself at this point is a non-existent human being, And this is proven when Lunge tries to go into psychology, like how he does for every criminal, aka the I am the killer mind state, saying, I am Johan Liebert. After he says that,
I'm not. He's just telling the story of what happens in the whole show.
I also another incriminating thing, like he indirectly framed Tenma. When he doesn't exist.
Yeah,
he can't be anywhere.
You can make the argument that he killed killers, which is still murder, but you're doing a good deed. But he hired the killers.
Vigilantism.
Yeah, you're still being a vigilante. You're still going above the law. And he hired those killers to kill people, which they did. So it's like, okay, you still did a horrible thing, even by proxy. But then you're killing the people that you hired to kill others because you wanted to cover up the evidence. So you're just doubling down on murder and covering your tracks. This is really bad. And I don't care what jurisdiction we're talking about, with country or city or laws. Everything this guy's saying is, this guy's horrific. He's a serial killer. Now, maybe some serial killers have their own methods and techniques, but this guy is going around just murdering people. Indirectly. So, where's the good?
I don't exist. Because of this exact reason, you can see how Johan can just seem like he was never there, because all he does is erase any existence. Lunge checked in the room he stayed at, and it was almost like anyone was never in here. It was almost inevitable for someone like Tenma, who happened to be where Johan was and one of the only ones to know of his existence, to be framed and suspected. It wasn't Lunge being dumb or any other character, it was generally impossible due to how Johan could be moving without being noticed. After Johan finally meets Tenma, Johan executes Junkers in front of Tenma and walks away, revealing his face, the face of someone unsuspecting and kind. This year, both Anna and Johan are 20 years old. Johan goes to meet Anna. And this is where some questioning is required, on the actual purpose of Johan killing the Fortners and why he wanted to meet Anna in the castle in Heidelberg. First time seeing Anna, now known as Nina, has basically forgotten her past. Any of the tragedies before are gone. She lives a modest life and is happy with her family, studies and outside hobbies. So why does Johan let her heal from all of this, and that was the best for Anna, but still removes the happiness and kills the Fortners? Would you call it Johan being generally evil and give her happiness then remove it to torture her?
Yes.
Or would it be just because Johan was making sure that Anna wouldn't remember her past? Her true identity? Why is Anna named Nina by the Fortners? This calls into question that all of this was a way to make her forget the trauma.
No. They called her that because they wanted to, like, what? Oh, jeez. So, is he trying to say because he gave her a new life as a result of all these horrible actions that a greater good came out of it? And that was erasing her memory through trauma? So that she could have a different life when she grew up? Like, what? What?
She was living in a lie.
This is, like, I'm going to terrorize my brother or my sister so much that she can't remember the horrible parts and everything else that happened after or before, so they can just lead a normal life, oblivious to what came. Really? That's your plan? That's the greater good?
And have psychological traumas on daily.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, don't worry about the psyche and the subconscious and all the murder and death and destruction and killing people. You know, I just want my sister to have a good future and traumatize her to forget. As if like a 4-year-old knows how trauma works. And like, oh yeah, I'm just going to terrorize you until you can't remember anything. Because everything's so painful, your brain just blocks it out.
Thanks, Johan.
Yeah, what a wonderful son, or what a wonderful brother.
Yet it's possible she might have learned about her past, and it's interesting to be honest. The manga shows right here with the Fortners deciding if to tell her about her actual identity. Johan must have told them to change her name because of his goal of removing all she knew about him and her past. Another monster talks about how Johan loved Anna. Johan is someone who has only been raised in the dark and never really saw the light. He has had good intentions, but there are always ways he does things that are abnormal, but simply have to be done. Johan only knows what he knows, and when he was a child, killing the Lieberts was a simple emotional response from him, realizing his plan had failed and the monster had found them. He was a child that had to take the burden of surviving and doing anything to protect his sister. Johan as a kid is so bitter by his mother's decision because he saw his mother choose. Everything is yours, he says to Anna. Everything she will ever do, anything she does, he will unconditionally love her. Johan doesn't hate Anna for her views on him. He is only affected by a self-esteem type of view, like when he cries seeing his sister not having a good response seeing him. He isn't angry at her, it's just his self-esteem has went down. And this is where the criminal mind of Johan comes from. It's not a typical Joker chaotic loves killing, gets thrilled from everything he does type beat, or evil just for evil, psychopath, blah blah blah. No, it's not like that at all. While doing everything...
So before when you said he was killing people for the sake of killing, now he's older, and no, it's all about him protecting Anna. Really? So... was he evil before and now he's not because it's more adult? He's doing it for more adult reasons? And before it was just, people, they're boring and I don't like the kindergarten so much and all these adults are silly. I'm just going to have everyone kill each other. And while wanting to sit on the top of their bodies at the end of the world. Did he forget that dream? Oh, yeah, it was a stupid childhood dream. No, he did not forget that dream. He still wants to do it. This is no different than like an evil, take a fantasy story and have like the evil king who just loves his wife or loves his daughter but kills everyone around him because they're all worthless to him.
It is.
Like what? Oh no, he's a good person because he loves his sister. You're like, no. If he just loved his sister as, hey sis, here's a birthday card, happy birthday, I love you. Okay. If that was the story, then you'd be like, yeah, sure. But he butchers people to traumatize his sister so she would forget all the other bad stuff that happened that he also was a part of so she could have a different life with different parents. You're like, what?
Take it all away.
Let me punch the memory out of you. Let me, shock your brain so much, emotionally or physically.
You had enough fun.
You just keep slicing off parts of your brain.
Time to come back to reality.
It's just, how much of a lobotomy does it take for you to be happy? Let's find out. Like, okay.
And not make the same mistake as their mother, Johan does it in a way that will most likely hurt Anna, because it's a scenario where he isn't exactly considering what she thinks. So while being selfless, he's also being selfish and not...
Selfless? This guy, he honestly thinks Johan is selfless.
It's so great that like he just decides to kill people around him.
He's selflessly killing people who are completely innocent.
Having assassins stand innocent people.
What a saint! What an amazingly selfless person, giving all to this community by killing them.
I strategically selected these people to be...
Yeah, I'm such a giving person to my community. Here's this burning building of all these children and adults in it. Like, oh, yeah, okay.
Do you think, like, Johan goes to church and says, like, oh, please, God, please kill this person?
he would be praying. No, he would be jealous of Kira in Death Note. Oh, what a wonderful God.
Oh, wonderful. You can't just do this with the pen.
You could just write some names down and just everything works and everyone's happy.
Wish I could do that.
I
have to do. I first have to kill elderly people and then having money laundering scheme. And then pay assassins so they can get rid of the people who did the money laundering.
And then kill the assassins because, of course, you got to kill the assassins or else they'll find out who did it.
Wait. I got to meet up with my sister so I can remind her that she has terrible memories.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, I'm not evil.
Yeah, this is all good. Everything I've done is completely selfless and good for the community.
but he still does what he has to be doing for her safety. Either way, Johan kills the Fortners by hiring some corrupt cops. Johan most likely anticipated that her parents tell her, or the other scenario is that Johan is trying to have Anna move from where she is because she could be in danger. Due to the knowledge of Johan's weakness, anyone that wants to control him, all they need to do is get to Anna. Johan wanted to meet her, most likely to move her to a different place for her safety, similar to how he moved Anna in the hospital. I suggest you reread or watch Monster and notice the patterns of when Anna is held captive, along with other points. Johan takes the role of the
not to be an asshole, but I think like you should
Yeah.
be reading Monster so you can figure out that Johan Liebert might be the mastermind behind all the evil things. in Monster.
Maybe not even Monster. Just read your typical book of laws by any society in the world and say, wait a second, mass murder is a crime. Serial murders are a thing.
Like, okay, like Bonaparte was definitely like the person who started this entire insanity, but I think Johan did things on his own.
Yeah, I think he was one of those things called a psychopath, and
A sociopath.
yeah, starting off maybe.
Remember when he went to the Czech Republic just to pretend to be his sister?
Oh yeah, that was completely normal. He has no crazy obsession with his sister by mimicking her voice and putting on her hair and freaking her the freaking hell out when she walks past. You're like, what? Living as her in this little town, and she's.
And then, what was the last shit? Like he almost got that detective killed.
Well, he did get one detective killed with the alcohol.
Yeah, but like in the Czech Republic, and there was that guy that like he was dating as pretending to be his sister.
Oh.
To get close to the police and get some information from them, and then like I think like they almost got killed, and he ordered like some assassins to take care of them.
Yeah,
that was also like a neutral move. Like it definitely isn't anything evil.
Oh yeah,
like, I sometimes do that to the trash man.
Yeah, okay.
but they don't take my garbage.
I infiltrate an organization posing as someone.
This is for the better good.
This is totally normal, guys. It's completely human behavior for selfless reasons.
Monster, and along with his nihilism to some extent, because obviously the whole idea of meaninglessness and his actions align with different goals and desires. Anyway, he's a little nihilistic in terms of the value.
No. What are you He's very nihilistic. He's not a little nihilistic. He wants everyone to die. At the end of the world. This is his plan. Okay. That's not a little bit of that. It's like a little bit of mass murder. How many did you kill? Well, 10? No, 100. I mean, if you're going to talk about wars, I guess you could say, okay, one is bigger than the other in terms of deaths. Well, this is one person. He's already killed like dozens of people by the time he's 20. A little bit of nihilism. Okay.
Value of others and his view of his own value. And even if he was actually nihilistic,
Wait, is he or isn't he? Which one, dude? You've been saying he's been nihilistic growing up. Then he's got a little bit of nihilism. Now you're questioning whether or not he's nihilistic. Which one is it?
Whatever. He's just enacted his plan on taking down the economy and actually just kill Shuvol. He does the immoral stuff, he does. So let's not forget all of that, of course.
Okay. If ever I make or you make an argument saying, my premise is this person is evil, and then you say, he does immoral things. Immoral is one of those words that could mean immoral in the sense of my morals are bad or my ethics are bad. And that's in relation to the individual belief or the external belief like a society. You're already contradicting yourself. I don't care what semantics you use, what jurisdiction you're using, certain tort laws in certain states are a little different here and there. You are saying the opposite, sir. We should have stopped, as I said, we should have stopped this at 2 minutes and 40 seconds, but apparently this person thinks immorality is not evil.
We can stop it now if you want.
Let's go for another 2 minutes. This is so brain dead. Just I don't know what I'm saying. Here's a title. Let me talk about the thing I like. But all he's been doing is like going through the episodes. So I don't know what the hell he's paying attention to.
It's not even as interesting as the nostalgia critic would go through that.
Yeah, it's not.
At least he could scream like bad credit card or something like that.
Yeah, he could have a joke or get excited. He's just like, this is the way that this happened, and then he did this for good, selfless reasons, and this like You're like, yeah, okay. I think the best part was the VPN joke. That was, oh my god.
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was the most surprising.
That caught me off guard.
Liebert was disguising himself with VPN. No one can find him because of this VPN service. It's like, really? Okay.
But a reason, I want to highlight that, and we'll keep talking about it until you understand it. And Another Monster is a definite read too to understand this. Onward.
Why should I take away that, like, I'm gonna understand on you? I'm gonna say it until you understand it. Like, is he trying to gaslight us until we believe it?
You just don't get Monster the way I get monsters. Like, you, dude, you're just saying what happens and then saying it's all okay. He's not bad. That's all you've been doing, and trying to sell us a VPN server. Like, that's all you've done so far. But apparently, this is kind of like that meme of the boyfriend holding the girl by the neck and like explaining things like, "Oh, you just don't get it." Like, she's like, okay, what could you possibly say to this poor girl to make her believe you? Okay.
Johan targets the Neo guys and goes for them. These guys want him to become the next guy. Yeah. Around here, Anna/Nina ends up tracking down someone called the Baby, trying to get the organization's attention, acting as some girl. Instead, she ends up getting caught and quote-unquote, which reports what I've been saying, Nina is bait for Johan. This is why in Another Monster, Roberto wanted to erase Nina's existence because she was a weakness for Johan. After being captured and talking to someone named Giedlitz, leaving to go somewhere else, this ends up catching Johan's attention. Johan kills Giedlitz and his henchmen later on, leaving a message for Tenma and Nina and how the monster inside him is exploding, and from their point of view, it's Johan playing around with them, with the self-inserted line by others that he sees others as ants. With this perspective, you can see it as someone either
he is going for that has different personality, so it doesn't make
Wait.
Like Johan is behind it.
Suddenly, at the age of 20-something, Johan developed another personality, and therefore he's a different character, a different person as a result. Are you?
I'm telling you, it's the Griffith shit.
This is getting really stupid. Like, it went from he's evil, but it's okay. You're like, what? And now it's like, well, now he's really evil, and he's morphing into another personality that is a good. Like, it has to be a good personality because everything else he's said so far has been bad. But I know that doesn't happen in the story. So what the frickin' hell is he talking about? Okay.
having a break falling. But how this could actually be interpreted with the knowledge we have beforehand is it's actually help, the monster is exploding inside of me. Johan has become a monster and he is playing the role and taking that role from Nina, which should have become the monster back in the Red Rose Mansion. The person who went to the Red Rose Mansion and was chosen was respected by many when they came out. So when Nina/Anna is introduced to everyone, they speak highly. So this is the person, which is what they've seen so far should be related to Johan, but instead it was to Anna. So Johan, like the book, you could say ate the monster from Anna. This could be hinted from Nina/Anna's own outburst when being talked to Dr. Richwin, acting like some crazy psycho trying to kill him. That's almost like the monster she should have been, but Johan took it with him. The next part is where we start to see this criminal genius or manipulative side of Johan really.
Okay, but that's still just...
Criminal genius?
Yeah, I don't care what the symbolism means of the book or that he took her place. He's still... he chose to do that. He chose to be the psychopath, whether or not it was a nature, nurture, or whatever. You're just telling us that he's evil. And the scenario was, the sister was about to be evil, but he decided to do it. He's a hero. It's like, no. It could have been chosen to be an ice cream machine repairman.
It's even worse because the sister was the one who went through all that brainwashing, and yet, as far as I remember, like she did not commit a single crime.
Right. Whereas Johan was like, oh, that should have been me. Like the mother should have chosen him. And you're like, oh, I guess she should have, because they wanted him to be the crazy super genius evil guy when he was already that way. They didn't know it.
But lucky, because like he was not selected as the candidate for this. That means that he can make those crimes, because that means that he's not evil.
Yeah,
he had a choice to not do those things. Oh, wait.
But he did that, and the argument is because he tried to protect Anna from that life, so he decides to be... That stops as soon as he chooses to be the evil child, but then he could do whatever he likes after that point. He could just run away. He could just go, take off. I'm not going to do any evil anymore. Or I'm not going to start doing evil.
This is insane.
It's like, can the guy have any character that you can just see as for what it is on the screen? It's not that complicated. It's a bit twisted because there's all this psychological manipulation by a lot of people or characters in the story, but it's not confusing. It's a bit mysterious as we have multiple perspectives of detectives and psychologists and Tenma running around and Anna running around. Like, there's all this stuff happening. But everyone in the story knows something wrong is happening. Some people think it's Tenma, but all the people who know better, they know it's Johan until Lunge figures it out. He's, oh, wait a second. Probably not Tenma anymore. Like, oh, that's right near the end.
Closing in on Shoevault is the only time in the series you get to see so much Johan in a big window of time, being able to now actually dissect his behavior with normal people, as he is posing as a student here, and his plans revolving around the economic giant, Hans Shoevault. The initial plan is to take out Shoevault, who has control over the economy in Germany. This is why many say that Johan quote-unquote took over Germany or bent Germany to its knees, when to be honest this definitely could have happened, but it didn't. But we'll go over the plan before it changed way later on, and we'll discuss why he changed it. Johan manipulates different killers to kill people close to Shoevault. He slowly does it, and he loses a lot of people around him. This is so he can completely isolate Shoevault. With Shoevault now isolated and alone, he can enact his plans. You'll notice...
We can't stop here. Like, he repeatedly admits that, like, he manipulated people to kill other people.
Yeah, I want to know where the argument is, because all he's doing is every time he opens his mouth, he's like, yeah, this guy's evil, this guy manipulates people, this guy kills people, this guy...
That is just a summary of the series.
Yeah, he's just describing what's happening. I'm like, yeah, you're right, he's evil. Where's the argument? Where's the evidence? This should have been 30 minutes of, here's a piece of evidence, this is what this means, and shows that he was protecting Anna. This is all about Anna. Fine. And then the stupid alternate personality argument, if you want to show that where that is, fine. Let's do that. Let's go that route. Instead, he's like, oh no, this is Johan again. Like he brought up the thing where the monster is exploding, and then he drops it and just keeps telling about the rest of the story. It's like, are you going to argue that? Does that go anywhere? No. Like, how about the Magnificent Steiner? Was he influenced by Johan to be evil, or was he trying to be a hero? Like, where does that fall in? Like, that one's pretty clear cut. Let me just skip to the end. Hopefully, it's just not an advertisement for VPN again, and see where he goes, because I want an argument.
It's probably gonna be an ad.
All right, here we. 28.
But it's still with the fat man.
Yeah, still with the German dude.
Manipulate the dark nature in people's hearts. There were cases where general humans and monster weren't like that. With someone who had been brought into the world just surrounded with darkness and a childish view, he didn't think that not everyone is like this. He would be proven right if Tenma killed him, because that's how it should be. But it's not. People like Grimmer and all talk about love. Love is what is shown during the series. Contrasting the darkness of the manga, we see Tenma experience different kind of people along his journey. Where he was supposed to become a monster, defeat a monster. To defeat the monster was actually just to give him love. Johan had...
Tenma shooting Johan gave him love? I really don't think when a cop opens fire on a suspect who's about to commit murder, that's a sign of love. If anything, Tenma was trying to find redemption in his mistake of saving someone's life who ended up going on to murder dozens, if not hundreds of people. That's not love. I can't see shooting someone in the head an act of love in that context. What it could be, it could be in a certain context, but not in the story of Monster, not near the end of the story where we finally get the opportunity to see Johan stopped. Oh boy. What a strange. It's an act of love. I don't know. That's weird. You could have used tranquilizer darts. How about that? Could have tranquilized him.
It would have made too much sense.
I don't know.
Hesitation when Anna had forgiven him, something that he thought he would never get again after the incident at the Liebert's house. Just as the magnificent Steiner, he must have become human in the end. How Johan manipulates people as apparent dark manipulation is true, but another
how someone manipulates someone in... Did he say the dark manipulation?
No.
How Johan manipulates people as apparent dark
As apparent dark manipulation. What the hell is dark manipulation? Is it magic? Is it nefarious? Like, what manipulation is manipulation? What more do you need?
Well, it went full Elder Scrolls now.
The dark manipulate. He's not. When you say dark manipulation, you sound like some evil wizard or something. Like, I don't know, dark magic or.
He doesn't just manipulate. He's doing dark manipulation.
Dark manipulation. This is getting so silly.
It's something that you do during diversity.
I'm assuming the past 10 minutes were just as equally stupid, but this is like the dark Johan was using the dark manipulation. Okay.
manipulation is true. But another monster highlights that Johan was able to bring so much influence and charisma to people because he simply could understand everyone. He became the person who would listen to their problems and never downplay their experiences. He gave them a reassurance and acknowledging of their existence and value to the world, never frowning on them, but giving them someone like a friend, and that they'll never be alone. With evil people, he did the same. However, he took it back.
And then he killed them. What? He killed innocents too. Are we missing something here? It's like, yeah, he did. He petted a dog and he watered the flowers and he mowed someone's lawn. And then the week after, he murdered them.
Remember when he almost manipulated the kid to kill himself?
Oh, you just...
And then Tenma and his friend had to step in to talk him out of that shit.
Oh, God. I mean, this is the beautiful part of the story, is that there are believable scenarios that take time to develop, like with the detective who was an alcoholic. Like, that's a great story. And it just doesn't happen within one episode. And it's believable because we see and hear it as it goes on in pieces. And you might think, well, that's not a big deal. You know, he encourages a detective to go back to drinking whiskey for whatever reason. But then you realize that was the thing that if he started doing that, he'd start remembering the things that he did that he couldn't get past. And he couldn't get past it. And he couldn't live with himself. And he killed himself as a result. Like that's a really intense thing to do when it sounds like he was just a guy, you know, hey, you know, it's just a glass of whiskey, you're strong enough to deal with that, and da 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 da. Not realizing it. Oh no, he knew this guy had trauma. He knew why, and he knew how to push those buttons. It's nefarious. It is vindictive. It is manipulative. This is not your typical serial killer with the rifle. This is planned out evil. Like, everything about this guy is evil. Like, every single thing he does. I don't care if he's nice to Anna. I really don't.
Pit, isolating, and would then ask him for a little simple favor. Johan never killed for a sick desire, as another monster highlights, and it's just something he simply had to do, and in the end of the story, being proven wrong.
So his motivations weren't sick. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, he had to do those things.
I had to kill the two elderly people. They report me to the police. I had to kill an entire group of children and adults in a kindergarten because... No, he did kill them because he wanted to. There was no other reason. He thought they were beneath him.
He hated them.
He hated living there. He had nothing to learn, and everyone knew. All the adults were like, "Yeah, we can't teach you anything. You are already perfect. You're going to be the next Hitler." And there's a picture. They drew the frickin' picture of him standing on the bodies of these kids, of these people. Like, that's what he wants. He told that to them. They're like, "Oh wow, this guy's perfect." Oh my god, he's in a.
We should make him president.
It's like you're in the insane asylum, and all the psychos are going, "This is the biggest, baddest, amazing psycho in here. We all love him," and it's like Johan up at the top. You're like, "Oh, okay, okay." Luckily, we have less than a minute left. Oh, God.
He went to life. The criminal mind of Johan is someone who had to kill. He is able to be charismatic, go into disguise, and understand humans to a level to manipulate them. However, this worldview could only work on a few people, and still in the end, he became not a nameless monster, but a human being.
How? How is he human? How? Where did this logic come from? He killed all these people, but at the end he was a human being. What are you talking about?
I mean, physically, yes, he is human, but how he's acting is the most inhumane character that you can meet in this story.
Yeah, let's just read this paragraph. "Yes, I believe he had lost his memory until he saw it again, and when he saw the nameless monster, he remembered that he himself was not a monster. It might have been the instant that he returned to being human." The writer is not saying he became human. He says, well, he might be thinking he's a human. All that tells us is that he is a psychopath that could have not been a psychopath, but he had the mentality of one. And instead he ended up becoming one. But he remembered something that made him think a bit differently at that point in time. That's like,
what could have that be?
That's like, a criminal going to the slammer and they find Jesus. It's like, oh my God, I've learned what it means to be alive again. You're like, okay, good for you, but that doesn't erase your past. You're still a killer. Holy hell, what is going on?
In the description to some of the posts that helped me realize this. Go check it out.
Realize what? What did you realize? You didn't say anything. You read a frickin' manga or the light novel. What is your point?
Oh no! Oh God! Well, guess which website this leads to.
Fanfic.net.
No. www.reddit.com.
Oh God. All right.
This video should have been renamed "I read a Reddit post."
I'm going to make a stupid video off a stupid Reddit post. I hope there's some really bad memes because I really like Monster. And
I posted one, but it's old.
Yeah, I just that for such a stupid video, for someone to say something like this, it's silly.
It's such a waste of editing as well. Like the editing is top notch though.
Oh my God. Oh shit. Is that Walter White?
Yes.
The manga version of Walter White. That's great. So we got Griffith. We got the chick from what's that show called? That manga.
Chainsaw Man.
Is it Chainsaw Man? Okay. And that looks like Spider-Man. What is that?
It's the Mexican Spider-Man from the newest animated movie.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
It's basically a spider vampire.
Oh. Okay. Sad baguette noises. Bread is pain. Oh boy. What do we got here? Dragon Ball Z. Okay. And it's a rendition of the Trump photograph. Okay. Here's another one. Palpatine. Okay. What we got? Oh, that's good. I like that one. Of course, I mean, if you're gonna shoot Senator Armstrong, I don't think you can put a dent in him, but maybe it was Biden. That would make more sense. That'd have been funny. First two black children characters in Star Wars, they don't have a father. Did anyone ever actually watch that? I didn't care at all.
No, I'm not watching any more Star Wars.
Yeah. Virgin Light Yagami and Chad Johan Liebert. Don't even compare. Come on, that's like two different things.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even do that. Funny sex sounds. I don't remember that. There might have been some sexual content in Monster, but I don't remember it very well. It's a it's not very long, but it's a pretty long manga. Extracts bullet from patient's brain, tries to shoot him again. Yep, that's the story. That's the premise. It's okay to ask for help. You're not a burden. Murder is okay. Your feelings matter. Why don't you shut up? The theme song for this guy. I can't decide whether you should live or die. Oh, you'll probably go to heaven. Please don't hang your head and cry. No wonder why. My heart feels dead inside. It's cold and hard and petrified. Lock the doors and close the blinds. We're going for a ride. Tenma, don't worry. Just hang in there. I will save you. Johan, can we arrange alternative form of payment? And Tenma loads a gun. Interesting. The big secret to breaking the rules is to make it look like as though you're following them. He might have said that. I don't remember. Where's the boobs? There's supposed to be 2 earth-shattering boobs. Huh.
Oh no.
Huh. Not sure to interpret that one.
You don't get it?
I'm trying not to.
But the image on the left is Johan dressed up as Anna.
Right.
So that's why he doesn't have the boobs.
He did. I thought he did have a full body thing, but okay, I mean, it doesn't matter.
It's not as big.
Yeah. This I don't know what this one is. Who is that?
It's Prince Charming from Shrek 2.
That is Shrek 2? Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. All right. Well, that's all she wrote. What a really bad... I mean, I don't think he had anyone talk to him. Maybe he might have left a comment in the Reddit thing. But I bet if we go there and read it...
You really should have just ended that like it's a Reddit post.
Yeah, I think if we read that, it would just be a pile of crap. Like most Reddit links are a pile of crap anyway, but it's just... The story of Monster is brilliant. It's very well put together. In no time, read any 10 manga or any 10 episodes of Monster. Do you go, hey, you know what? Johan's just being misunderstood. He really just cares for Anna. He has a split personality. He's doing all these horrible things. That's not him. It's someone else. It's like, nope. It's always he is psychopathic. He is hiding from everyone. He's manipulating people. Everywhere he goes, people die. At no point do you go, oh, what a great person. What a nice contributor to society. he's doing everything right. That never, ever happens in the story. Every turn, he is doing something horrific, and it usually ends in murder. So
everything it does is just like horrible. Like even when he was surrounded by children, there's just
yeah, it's
that scene is like, oh god, what is he gonna do with the children?
yeah, it's terrifying because you know what kind of a person he is, and he's just sort of playing with them, and it's been like a week or so, and you're like, oh my god, he was playing with children. What the hell? So yeah, no, it's I don't know. It's one of these. I can't believe this has this many views and this many upvotes. It just does not make any sense. The level of mistakes and how do I describe this? I wouldn't even call it a bias. It's as if he just made up another story while saying all these things that are true. Like, yeah, he's manipulated people. He killed 2 people. He did this and that. At no point was there an argument. Obviously, we skipped 10 minutes, but there's no point there was an argument saying, and here is where we see the good side of this psychopathic person. You're like, what's the point? Anyway.
Nothing.
One of my favorite animes, mangas, and I will not see besmirched by that. I'll leave my little comment saying, at 240, you said he kills 2 elderly people. Ipso facto, he is evil. You cannot interpret that in any other way. So, anyway, thank you for listening. We'll talk to you soon. Hopefully, we'll get our episode 800 going. Not sure exactly when it'll be fragmented, but I'm still organizing it. So, we're going to find out soon enough. So, have yourself a great evening. Take it easy. Good night.
Good night.